Hi, today we're looking at the Bowers and Wilkins Zeppelin speaker. I bought this off eBay for spares or repair. It came with the remote and the power lead. I'll just bring the listing up so you can have a look. And I saw one of these on a channel called My Mate Vince, who also repairs things just like I do. If you haven't came across Vince's channel before, check it out. He's actually quite good. Anyway, I paid £36 for this, plus about £10 postage. We'll plug it in and see what it does. So, let's get a power lead here. And we'll just check that the power lead's actually working. And we've got 251 volts there, I don't know if you can see that. There we go, 251. So we'll plug it in and we'll see what it does. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Now, I've already slackened these two covers off because they were a bit hard to get off, and I thought instead of messing about on camera, I'll just press the, they've got two little buttons on the back here. I don't know if you can see those there. And then they slide off that way, and that's as far as I've gone with it so far. So we'll take these covers off and we'll get into it and have a look. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 screws around the outside, which are Phillips. So I'll just grab a Phillips screwdriver. And I'm not sure whether we need to take this stand off, this bracket, and that's normally for an iPod or such to fit on. I can't see any other screws in this. Let's see how this bracket comes off. And it looks like we've got security torques on the back of there. Alright, I shall just grab some security torques. Looks like a T20. Now, unfortunately, I can't find my handle for these at the moment, so we'll just improvise with a pair of pliers for now. Right, there's the 4 screws out, and we've got a little connector down here. Small screwdriver. Let's see if I can flip this little connector up. Right, that's the stand out of the way. I'll just put that to one side. And then we'll see if we can figure out how to get into the rest of it. Have I missed any screws or anything? Oh, there we go. It's quite heavy, this. Tell you what, we'll unplug it as well. this one out of the way. It's actually glued in there. Disconnect the mains. And that must be the other end of the cable that goes to the iPod connector, I would think. Actually, no, that goes to the... Does that go to the iPod? Oh no, that goes to the back panel. And which also goes to the iPod connector in turn. Okay. Well, I've got a feeling the problem's going to be on the power supply on this. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's kind of where I suspect. I've got a lot of room on this connector here, but looks just like an earth, so I think there should be to disconnect that. Right, I can see a fuse down here. I think we'll check the fuse. Now let's go on to continuity. Well, the fuse seems okay. I'm not sure what voltage we're supposed to get out of this power supply, whether there's anything marked on it or not. See some markings on the other side of the where the power connector goes to. Right, so we've got a few pins here. It looks like some of them are separate, so I'll tell you what, we'll just plug that back in a sec. We'll put some power into the unit and we'll see if we've got any voltages on the output of this power supply. We'll check we're getting power into the power supply as well. Right, just put that there a sec. Yeah, so we're getting 250 volts into the power supply. I'm not sure which, well actually that should be a ground. Right, so we're getting 24 volts out of there on that pin, 5 on that one. So perhaps these might be the grounds here. Maybe not. Well, we're definitely getting a 5 volt and a 24. But the unit still just appears dead. Let's just try the power button again. Nope, nothing. I don't know if there's any circuit diagrams or anything for these on the internet. So I can see a voltage regulator down there. Let's see if I've got any voltages on that. Let's see if we can work out which one's the ground as well. I would say that first pin there is probably ground. I've got 24 volts there. 20 volts. That looks a bit odd. So we've got 24, 24 and 20. I mean, that could be a transistor, might actually be a voltage regulator. Right, tell you what, we'll start on doing some of these straps here so we can see where different wires are going. We've got a very thin ribbon cable here, I guess that goes to the front panel. I wonder if we've got any voltages on that. So we're going to ground and we'll just probe some of these pins. Nothing. 3.3. 3.3, 3.3. Let's see if any of those change when we press the power button. Well, that one. Not that one. Yeah, that one. When I'm pressing the power button there, you can see the 3.3 going down to ground. So we know the on-off button is working, but it just doesn't seem to want to turn on for some reason. I mean, I didn't suspect it would be the on-off button as such, because the remote control that comes with that, I don't even know if that works actually. Let's just see if the camera picks anything up on that. Was it RF? Because I can't see any infrared emitter there. It might actually be an RF remote, that. So I guess the 24 volt is for the amplifier side of things, and the 5 volt probably gets dropped down to 3.3 somewhere for the logic and audio switching, I guess. Right, might have to bring the microscope on this one and have a closer look. I think I'll take this board out. I'll just unplug it from the mains a sec. And I think we'll take this board out and we'll have a look over it, see if we can see anything obvious. So you've got a screwdriver here. I would have thought if there was an error, like with the amplifier or something, you would have had some kind of light or something on it. No, this connector just kind of came apart, but that's alright. I think that one just plugs straight in. Yes. Brittle plastic. Right, let's see. Looks like we've got 4 screws. Let's get a Phillips. Right, so this looks like the control board, and this board down here looks like the actual amplifier. And I guess there's push-pull transistor for every tweeter or whatever, so, or it could be sort of 2 for the bass and I don't know, something like that anyway. That's what it kind of looks like. Actually, there could be another one down there. So now we've got 2 tweeters at the end, 2 mids, and a bass, so that's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, could be that. And I don't think it would be on that amplifier. I think it's something on this board here. Just trying to get a little magnifying glass and just have a quick look over. I can see a couple of 0 ohm resistors on there. I can see about 3 0 ohm resistors. I can't actually see anything that looks like a blown component or anything. There's nothing on the reverse side of the board. Although there is some kind of marking on there. I don't know whether that's like a possible signs of some kind of water damage maybe or not. Could be. Some kind of traces or something there. That mightn't be particularly good then. Might pull this board out as well so we can just have a look at it. Oh, we've got a big, looks like a big audio processor or something on the bottom there. And a lot more components. Looks like there's a bit of a switch mode power supply here. I wasn't expecting that. We've got some capacitors. I guess this must be one of those digital amplifiers then. D2 audio. Oh, looks like we've got a couple of LEDs on there as well. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Actually looks quite interesting, this. Looks like we've got a couple of little LEDs just here. A couple of LED indicators. Looks like we've got a 25 megahertz crystal just here. I can't see any signs of any blown components or dry joints or anything. Everything I've seen so far looks okay. Looks like there's possibly been some rework or something done there at some point. There's a small capacitor there. It looks like somebody's soldered on extra or something maybe, or replaced at some point. And it looks like the same on this side. Actually one there as well, and one there. That looks like some kind of factory modification. So we're still no further forward of this at the moment. What's that down there? We have another little board down here. I guess that'll be either the IR sensor or the indicator panel. Yeah, it's an indicator LED. Now, but that's not lighting up at all. Now, looks like that's controlled from here. all of those lines seem to go back towards this microcontroller here. I mean, unusual for microcontrollers to go. So I wouldn't have thought it would be the microcontroller, but I mean, you never know. Right, that there a sec. Right, let's check these 0 to 1 resistors. If I can see where they were. See one here. No, we'll put on continuity. Right, that one's okay. Where did I see the other ones? There's one going to the on-off switch, but seeing as we had 3 volts there, I would have thought that one would have been alright. I've got 3 going to this chip. There seems to be quite a lot of them going to this chip for some reason. I don't think I can see any other ones. I think that was it. Actually, no, there's 2 on there. Is that another one? No. Yes, actually, I've just spotted another 4. There's 1 here. 1 here. 1 here and 1 here. And all of those check okay. Maybe we're a shorted capacitor or something, have we? What was that? That's the inductor. I wonder if it's worth getting the thermal camera on it. I think I'll put the board back in and we'll get the thermal camera on, see if that sort of shows anything up. Because at the minute I'm scratching my head a little bit with this one. Oh, I didn't put the indicator board back in. That's okay, we should be to sort of see what's, at least we can see what's going on without looking at the front, see if it actually does anything different. I just have to make sure we don't short it out on anything. I think I might just leave this this auxiliary input unplugged for now. I think it should work without it, so let's see if we can get that somewhere so it's not going to short anything out. Right, plug the power back in for now. Right, let's get the thermal camera out. I fixed this in a previous video. Oh, that's something. I'll just stick my finger there to try and get it to settle down a little bit. And there's a little bit of heat coming from that chip according to this. a little bit from that component there. Looks like a voltage regulator or such. I mean, nothing excessive. 22 degrees. Oh, it's over here. There's something about there. I see that little IC at the end there. I mean, I would have thought that's probably normal, but it might not be. Let's see what voltage we got on this little voltage regulator here. Let's see if it sheds any light on anything. Alright, we've got 4.9, so that must be the input. And I think that must be the output because we've got 3.3. So I guess that's working okay. And that chip there must be running 3.3. I mean, it's not getting warm or anything. I mean, or hot. It's not like... Oh, I'm scratching my head with this one at this point. So I thought I'd hook the scope up to it just to see exactly what's going on here. And we've got two crystals. There's a 12.28. I think it's 12.28. Yeah. So if we have a look on this one, and I've got a waveform there on the scope there. We can see that one's 12.28. That's correct. And we'll just get the check. We've got a clock on the other one, which is 18.4. And I think I'll have to adjust the scope a little bit here. Let's move the position down a bit. And we've got 18.4 there. So it looks like we've got clocks going to the processor and going to the other chip. All the voltages seem correct. I mean, I've gone on a few of these capacitors here, and I pulled up the data sheet for the chip, and I can see all the voltages seem to be correct there. So it's a little bit of a mystery, this one. So I'm kind of struggling at the minute to see why it's not actually doing anything. I mean, it's just sort of like, it's just not showing anything. If you press the on off button, it's still not doing anything. I think there's a chip here, which one was it again? PCM chip, which I was just going to have a probe around on here just to see if there's anything going on that one. There's some resistors here which look like there could be data or so, so I was just going to have a poke about on these. It looks like we might have something on these. I'll set the I'll just check we've got the ground on properly there. Okay, we've got something going on there. Yeah, looks like we've got some kind of clock going on there. Let's try the next one along. It looks like we've got some kind of data going on there. But I don't know whether that's to do with this chip or whether it's to do with the processor. I'll just See if we can get a bit more going on there. There we go. So there's some data going on that pin there. Does the on off have any effect? Well, there's still data there when it's switched off, but I did notice when I pressed the button that the height of the waveform there, I've just pressed the button there and you can see the height of the waveform's changed slightly. And if I press it again, so it looks like the processor is getting some kind of signal there by the fact that the waveform's actually responding. I mean, that's not me holding the button in, that's me actually pressing it and actually toggling. So, like I say, if I press it now and let go, you can see the waveform change. If I press it again and let go, you can see it go back to the way it was. So, it looks like the processor is actually doing something, or attempting to do. Why have I got no lights? Why is it just dead? What we've got here, it's like a quad LED, isn't it? So it must be like 3 colours in the voltage. So I've got voltage there, and that looks like a ground. And that looks like a ground as well. Actually, that's waving around a little bit, that. And that one looks like a ground because it's continuous. And that one's waving around a little bit. So if we've got power there and that one seems a ground, surely there should be something lit up. Let's try the test meter. So double check this. Right, so I guess it switches the ground for each one it wants to light up. So if that's positive, there's nothing on that one because that's not activated. And we've got 5 volts there on that pin and nothing on that one. So that middle pin must be grounded. Let's just try pressing the power button a sec. Now the first pin's grounded, the second one isn't. Surely it's not just the LED's faulty on this. And the thought was just dead. Now I haven't got an LED like that. I'll take this LED, we'll just double check there. We've got some resistors there. I'll just check we've got 5 volts or whatever on the other side of them. So that one's on at the minute. Yes, and we've got 5 volts through that resistor. I'll just press the power button. 5 volts, 5 volts, 5 volts. But nothing on the LED. And it goes to that pin there. But surely all 3 segments of the LED wouldn't have gone, unless there's like a common connection inside that's gone, but that's rather unusual. Wonder if I got some LEDs and we could just tag some LEDs on, just onto some of these pins here. I mean, I have got some quad or tricolour LEDs, like RGB LEDs, but I think they're a common ground. I don't think they're like a common plus voltage. Right, I'll have a look. I'll see what I've got, and then I'll be back. Well, I thought for a bit of fun we'd have a look at the this LED under the microscope, and if I just get me end of me tweezers in there for comparison. So I think what's happened is, I think this pad over here must have separated or something from the bond wires here. So that's the only thing that would make sense, because I can't see all three LEDs failing, and the only common thing between them is this pad here. So I think that pad's probably failed. Now I have found another LED, which I'll just bring in next to this one there. It's actually a slightly different, I think it's slightly different colours, but it's still, it's the same size. It's actually off an old BT home hub for showing what the status lights, you know, whether it's connected to the internet or got an error or whatever. I thought I'd seen something similar somewhere, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect the hot plate up that I built in a previous video, and we'll use that to remove the LED. To take this LED off, what I had to do was heat it from the bottom of the board, because you can't, I mean I could use the V-Workstation, it's just a bit of a mess on. It might be easier, and there's a plastic connector on the bottom of this on the other side, around about here, so I don't want to melt the connector, so I think I'm going to use the hot plate. Right, I'll get that set up and then I'll be back. So I've got the hot plate set up. I still don't think it's hot enough, so I think I have to manually. Right, that's the old one off. And that should be the new one on. Right, I'm just going to see what that looks like through a magnifying glass. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Right, so that's the board with the new LED soldered on. I should actually clean that up a bit. It's got a bit flux residue on it still. Let's give that a quick clean up. And then I think we'll try it in and see if it lights up. I'm just wondering whether the previous owner, I wonder if it's actually been working, but because there hasn't been any lights or anything lighting up on it, they've just thought, oh, it's dead, and it's you know, they've just assumed it just wasn't working at all. When in fact I think it might have actually been working, it's just you weren't getting any indication on the front that it was working. And it's very unlikely, you know, that they would have thought, well, you know, 3 different colours that light up or whatever, and none of them were lighting up. So, you know, it's entirely possible, I suppose. Right, let's put some power on and see what it does. Yes. Well, it's lit up red anyway. Oh, did it just change there? Let's try the power button. And it's gone yellow and blue. I think it's actually working, you know. Right, I think what I'll do, I'll assemble it. I'll put this module back in the bottom. I'll reassemble it a bit, and then I think we'll give it a test. I think it actually might have actually repaired it. Right, we'll power it up. And we've got a light on. Does the power button work? Yes. And it goes blue. Right, okay. Let's see if the remote works. Nothing on the remote. Right, let's check. Let's check the battery first of all. Partly might have been another reason why they thought it was dead, if it wasn't switching on with the remote either. Let's see, 0.3 of a volt, so that's well flat. I shall just grab another battery. Right, does the remote work now? Yes. Does it switch off? Right. Now let's see if we get any sound out of it. I've got a lead plugged into my phone here, and I've got some copyright-free music. So I'll stick that in the aux. Let's move that back a touch. Right, let's see. And we haven't got anything yet. Have any sound out the left speaker or the right speaker, depending which way you're looking at it. Yeah, that one's not vibrating. It's like it's only working in mono unless there's a setting or something. Let's just try that again. Right, so there still might be another issue on it, yes. Right. I shall investigate that and we'll see what's wrong with it only working on one speaker, unless I haven't plugged in something properly, but I'll just have a quick look at that then. So I've got it in bits yet again, and what I noticed was I had it playing some music and I tapped the circuit board and that speaker came on, and also the bass wasn't working. So what I've done, I've resoldered, because these looked a bit dry, some of the joints on this circuit board. I'm just looking for something to point with here. There we go. So I've just resoldered all of these transistors here, because some of them look like they had dry joints, which I think might have been the problem. Like I say, there's quite a bit in this. I've also resoldered some of the connections along here, which look slightly dry. And I also went across some of these chips here, just in case. So hopefully that should solve the problem. But there was definitely some kind of bad connection, because like I say, when I tapped on this circuit board here, that speaker came on and it wasn't working previously. So I'm going to reassemble it, and then we'll continue the video from there. Right then, it's all back together. We've got I don't know if you can see the power light there, but there's a red power light on. And I'll just press the remote, and it's changed to green. And let's see if it works now. Yeah, we've got both speakers working now, and we've got bass, so I think that's it. I think we'll call this one a fix. So it turns out the power light was faulty and there was a few dry joints on the board. So that's it, repairing a Bowers and Wilkins Zeppelin speaker. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe. Any comments or questions, please leave it in the comments section below. And as always, have a great day. Thanks for watching.